The dream of many people, especially those with a limited income, is to get rich one day so life can be easier. While this may seem like an unsurmountable task, it's actually not that complicated when you approach it the right way. In this video, we'll show you how to build wealth on a limited income so you can achieve your goal. Number 1. Save a portion of your income. One of the keys to building wealth is saving the money you earn, because you can't have wealth if you have no money. Well, that was pretty obvious. What may not be so obvious is how much you need to save to actually become wealthy. The answer to this question depends on a few factors, one of which is, how fast do you want to get rich? Let's say we have two people. They are both on a limited income, but one wants to build wealth in 10 years and the other in 30. The person who wants to build wealth in 10 years will have to save a much bigger percentage of their income. In other words, be a lot more strict with their budgets than the person who wants to achieve the same goal in 30. The best thing you can do for yourself is to make sure that it's manageable for you and only you. You know yourself the best and know what you are capable of and what you aren't. And if you don't know, now's the best time to find out so you can create a plan that works for you. Number 2, know how to save. This is a pretty broad topic, but there is one major thing to consider when it comes to saving and living below your means, and that's the order of savings. For example, it may not be the best idea to just throw all your money in the stock market because it has the highest return, so having a general guideline can help you make the best choices. Firstly, you'll want to save up for an emergency fund to protect yourself against any emergencies that can totally derail your savings and wealth. You never know when an emergency will happen, so being prepared with at least 3 to 6 months of income can be a huge lifesaver. Secondly, focus on maxing out your retirement accounts like 401k and Roth IRA. Since these are important to you regardless of your current situation, it's best to have them as full as possible every year for your retirement. Most of these accounts can be tied to the stock market since they are long-term investments, and don't forget to take advantage of employers' benefits, as many companies will match contributions you make up to a certain limit. Thirdly, save up for anything else that you've wanted to get for yourself. These can be things like a home, a new car, vacations, or even hobbies that you enjoy. While treating yourself well is essential to your health and even your financial health, it shouldn't be your main priority when it comes to saving. Saving can be overwhelming, but we've got you covered. To learn more about it, subscribe to Investors Weekly and check out the channel. Number 3, automate your savings. Now that you know the general ins and outs of savings, the best thing you can do to keep yourself accountable is to automate all of your savings. This removes the freedom to put money into your savings, which can sometimes deter you from doing it. We don't feel this way when we have to pay bills because they are mandatory to pay and often follow with negative consequences if we don't pay on time. So, removing the option to save and instead turning it into a bill to pay yourself makes it much easier to stick to and make sure you're saving your money. If you're going to live below your means, you need to save your money to build wealth. Otherwise, it's just a waste. Number 4, live below your means. This may seem totally redundant as this video is about living below your means, but understanding what this phrase means is necessary to actually do it. It's one thing to follow a set of rules, but it's another to understand the hows and whys. So what does living below your means actually mean? Typically, it's associated with living on less than you earn, and this is entirely true. Making sure that the amount you spend is always less than what you make will ensure that you have leftover money, which is basically what you would consider your wealth. However, it often gets more nuanced than that. For example, what exactly are your means? And I don't mean generally, but what are you, the viewer's, means in particular? No one has the exact same means, although there are many common elements like eating, drinking water, and some kind of shelter. Even these needs vary from person to person. For instance, one person may have no issue living in a small RV and eating food they buy at whatever grocer is nearby. Another person may live totally off the grid and not rely on anyone for electricity and food except themselves. And yet, another person may need a 4-bedroom home for their family along with a high-speed internet connection to work on their job. The variance in means is endless. So what you need to do to make living below your means something manageable in the long term is figuring out what you absolutely need in your life and what may not be that necessary. This is going to take some time. but you won't regret doing it when you see the results over time, not to mention how easy it'll be since it tailors specifically to your life. It can be really tough to figure out what your means are, so be sure to let us know in the comments if you'd like us to make a video about it to help you get a start. Number 5, look for ways to gain passive income. Passive income is one of the best ways to build wealth on a limited income without really having to do much. The thing about passive income is that the definition varies from person to person. Some people think passive income is money that comes in constantly, even if a little work has to be done. But some people think passive income is putting your money somewhere while it proceeds to make babies without your effort. Whatever you consider passive will change your approach. If you don't mind doing a bit of work to see the income stream, then you can consider starting some sort of side business. For example, if you're a good artist, you can make neat prints and utilize a website that allows you to sell your print while the company produces them on pillows, notebooks, mugs, etc. This way, the only work you really have to do is making new prints, which you probably enjoy anyway. If you really want a hands-off approach, one of the best areas to put your money is in real estate. It's a genuinely passive income for which you can expect solid returns without lifting your finger. Sounds pretty good, right? Number 6, don't compare yourself to others. It should come as no surprise to you, especially after watching this video, that living below your means is extremely psychological. So it should come as no surprise that if your mind isn't in the right place, you can set yourself back from living below your means to living above them. One of these traps is comparing yourself to other people. I know some people who get lost in the idea that there are so many young people on TikTok and YouTube who are already flaunting how rich they are by showing off their mansions and new cars. In fact, it's likely that many of you watching this video know people who do the same thing. When you see this, how does it make you feel? Like you want to be where they are? But what this desire causes is a lapse into going above your means. So learning to understand where you currently are and not letting the outside world influence you is going to save you from making bad choices. Remember, you have your own journey to building wealth, and your means are different than everyone else's. Always live your own life and only compare yourself to yourself. If you found this tip helpful, then let us know by giving the video a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. Number 7, create a budget and stick to it. Creating a budget is probably one of the oldest ways to learn to live below your means and build wealth, and chances are you're probably a little tired of hearing about it. So instead of focusing on creating a budget, we'll focus on sticking to a budget, since that seems to be the more difficult thing to do. A budget is really just simple math. It's addition and subtraction and sometimes multiplication, and it's likely a 12-year-old can make it. But even if you know how much you're supposed to spend every month to live below your means, how do you constantly do it? The first question you need to ask yourself is if your budget tailors to you or what you think is you. Namely, does it suit your lifestyle, or are you forcing yourself to live in a way that's way beyond your normal so you can achieve a dream as quickly as possible? It's known that the best people who accomplish goals the best are the ones that utilize their strengths and weaknesses the best. For example, if you're looking to build wealth so you can travel around the world more, but you cut off traveling entirely from your budget so you can save, it defeats the purpose and you'll end up in a rut. What you need to do is order your budget around traveling, since that's something that gives you life and makes you happy. A simple change like this makes budgeting not only easy, but even fun.